Satpathy.
Thank you, sir. Sir, at the outset, I oppose this Commercial Courts, Commercial Division and Commercial Appellate Division of High Courts Bill 2015, which seems to me to have been drafted in a very half-hearted manner. At this juncture, I would suggest that the bill be referred to the Standing Committee, more so since it has not gone through the scrutiny and through that process, which is essential for guarding the interests of the House. Sir, first I said I begin with opposition. Now I begin to point out a few mistakes that I have noticed in this bill. And I refer to Chapter 3, Section 12, which very clearly states that cases only above 1 crore will be handled by commercial courts that will be appointed under this law. How will this change the law? How will this change in law affect the work of judges or the courts is something that has to be considered. The government is very busy prioritizing the problems and trying to solve the problems of only very, very big business. Extremely big business are the only people who will benefit from this law. But micro, small, medium enterprises, they are being completely ignored, and we are not bothered about them. We are not even bothered about startups, where young people with very little money are coming up with brilliant ideas and are trying to do what many other Western countries had done long back, of innovating, of finding new methods, of finding new solutions to day-to-day lives that would actually make not only them rich, but could make India rich by the abilities, by the positive points that they add to our business environment. So it seems like government is actually creating this provision only to help big business. Because this specific sum of 1 crore seems a little dicey to me, as it seems like the cases of lower value do not seem to attract the government, and the government is not interested in solving the problems of those companies which have disputes of value lesser than 1 crore. Sir, this bill was brought in by an ordinance on 23rd October 2015. It's a very interesting thing. Why an ordinance? The ordinance obviously lapsed at the beginning of this winter session of 2015. I would like the Honorable Minister to specifically reply as to what are the cases, sir, from October 23 till date, what are the cases that have been drawn into the net of this, this new law that the government has come up with, and who is going to benefit from those cases that have already come in. Section 4 states that the judges for these courts will be appointed by the Chief Justice of respective state high courts. Why is there a provision to allow selection of judges by the Chief Justice alone? Why not involve the state governments also? And what will be the criteria for allotment of judges to a particular case? Will there be some hidden agenda behind that also? How transparent will this system be? This is an indicator, in my opinion, this is an indicator of the perpetuation of the collegium system through a devious way in selection of judges for appointment to certain cases. We need more transparency in this matter in order to ensure that justice is served, not only served, but it should also seem to be served, which is of very vital importance in India today. As we all know, sir, in a legal system like we have here, where judges are hired by a collegium system, the backlog of pending cases are taking years, like our senior colleagues have mentioned earlier also. They're taking years to be cleared by normal courts. Do we really need to create an alternative means of justice only aimed at the corporates? Because, sir, the judges that will be taken for these commercial courts will be from the High Court itself. That means they will lose sight of their day-to-day work and concentrate on commercial cases. Should we not look to the faults of our existing system and reform it for the common person first? Why ignore this common person, her or him, all the time? That is becoming a habit with this government. Is it their fault that they have voted a certain party in place of another party, hoping that there will be a qualitative change in the process of administration? Are we to actually blame the people for that? Or should they be happy that they chose you and you should be living up to their expectations? Instead, what you are asserting, reasserting and thumping with it, that since you have chosen us, now take it. You know, you are forcing it down their gullet. Look at section 2. Look at section 2, subsection 19, sir. You have been very judiciously doling out favors till now. If one sees chapter 1, section 2, para 19, you have included a provision that adds, quote, exploitation of oil and gas reserves or other natural resources, including electromagnetic spectrum. Who will this benefit, sir? Which major company in India is involved in gas exploration? Which company is involved in petroleum? Who are the companies involved in electromagnetic spectrum deals? We have to get a very clear answer from the government as to which are the companies that you are aiming to benefit. We would also like to know, the country would like to know, who are your benefactors whom you are returning favors which you received 2 years ago. When foreign companies or big corporations complain of long-drawn legal battles in India, which is presumably a reason that the government has shown for this bill, the government hurriedly rushes through a bill in the House. Sir, when you play favorites in lawmaking, we must address these issues at all levels that affect the people. And it can only be done by creating a level playing field for all under the same law. The urgency, it seems, is only to favor corporates. The excuse that this will create ease of business is only an excuse, again, for big players, not for MSMEs. We are all, I think, every member in this House will stand up in support if it supports startups, which the young people are doing in this country, if it supports the medium and small enterprises, because they are finally the biggest employers. We are ignoring them all the time. I have one last question to ask the Honorable Minister and the government, that what if this bill does not pass through Parliament? Suppose it fails through in Lok Sabha, or let us assume it falls through in Rajya Sabha. Then your ordinance also lapses. Some people who have jumped into the net which you created to protect them, from 23rd October 2015 till the beginning of this session, which was 26th of November or the Monday after that, what happens to them? Will they get your benefit or will they be deprived of the benefit? Who are the companies? And why should we presume that you are actually interested in this law and not interested in helping only a few through this ordinance? This is a question that I think anybody who is conscious and aware in this whole country would like to get a reply from the government. Thank you, sir.